Hello, my friends. I am highly excited for having really embraced this tremendous moment to share an informative updates with you, my friends. My name is Mbonye Junior Kizavia. If you're new here, we majorly talk about employment, career, development, and entrepreneurships, among others. So if you're new, do me a favor kindly by just clicking the likes. That will help us collaborate together as friends. That will help and transform society. But also, you can as well do subscribe for us to really make it even better. So today we are diving straight away into East Africa. In East Africa, we are going to ideally look into a specific country of which it takes the mind of our majorly our newly graduates from the colleges who are job seekers. Of course, it is a challenge for you when you are just from college. You try to look at left and right, things doesn't come well. You undergo a number of challenges. Of course, even the support from the guardians and the families seems to be minimized because they know you are now an adult. You stand now your ground to learn things hard ways. So where do most of our newly graduates really tend to focus their minds to from East Africa? Now, from East Africa, we only identify one common country that has really taken majorly the mind and the interest of our newly graduates, not only newly graduates, but a number of people who are unemployed from their various countries where they come from. And that is, when we talk about that, we talk about South Sudan. In South Sudan, we specifically look into South Sudan as a country, but also its capital city, Juba. Now, what is South Sudan and where is it and what do they do in South Sudan? What are the composition of South Sudan's country? Of course, South Sudan initially it used to be a country which used to be together with a whole Sudan, which currently they call it now Sudan, of which its capital city it is Khartoum. But currently South Sudan has also separated because they carried on their referendums, and their referendum gave them legitimate ground to be as independent country. Now they are an independent country of which it is doing its own things alone. So, what is the composition of South Sudan? So, South Sudan is composed of a number of tribes like some other countries in Africa. Of course, we cannot be in position of really listing them down all here, but there are a number of tribes in South Sudan. But there is a common myth that most people thinks that there's only one tribe in South Sudan that is known as Dinka. No, it's not only Dinka which is in South Sudan. There are a number of tribes, like some other African countries. The only country which does not have a number of tribes, I would say Rwanda. But South Sudan, they have a number of tribes. Example of them, I would say they have Bari, they have Madi, they have Acholi, they have Mondari, they have Kakwa, rather Kuku instead of Kakwa, they call it Kuku, uh, and among others, which I cannot really be in position of naming them. So these are a few of the tribes that is in South Sudan, not only Dinka. So if you look at South Sudan, you look at it as a broader aspect, a broader aspect of variety of tribes. So who are the people who go to South Sudan? South Sudan, it's also like other countries, it attracts a number of attention all over the globes. We have a number of people who are carrying on their economic activities and they are also doing their career there, practicing their career, medical sectors, there's health sectors, there's education sectors, there's all other sectors which is really there, infrastructures. All these are activities that has really attracted a number of attention of different people from around the globes. Let me look at the major, we are going to look at the majority of the foreigners who are in South Sudan. Number one, we have Ugandans. Ugandans are the highly leading foreigners who are in South Sudan try to seek their ground and they are doing well. Pretty number of them they are doing well, but pretty number of them they are also really not doing the way they expected to do. They are undergoing challenges. It's not just a thing that you think you can go and make it come the way it is. It's challenging. You cannot go and say, I'm coming back with what I was dreaming. No, it's not like what people think. South Sudan is like any other country. It's by chance. If you happen to chance, you chance. But if it doesn't come your way, you also come the way you go, the way you had gone. And of course, it's not what I pray for. But before you go, consider certain factors before you could. Which other foreigners who are in South Sudan? We have a number of them which are there. Chinese are there. Darfurian from Darfur are there. We have Eritrean from Eritreans are also there. We have Ethiopians from Ethiopia are also there. Nigerians are also a pretty number of them are there. We also have Egyptians. They are also there. And among others. So South Sudan, it's like other countries, it's composed of a number of foreigners. So then, what does it take for someone to get a job in South Sudan? Of course, with a state job, it is limited, and of course, the pay is not quite well. So even their foreigners don't really appreciate to really go for their state job. Other they run in for companies and organizations which are really operating in that country. So for me to get a job in South Sudan, what does it take for me to qualify, or what eligibility should I really have to obtain a job in South Sudan? Number one, you should be a foreigner. Why do they do like that? They try to restrict because they had experienced tragical moment from war, whereby they try to look at their citizens that they should compensate their citizens by offering them these lucrative jobs that is well paid. So for you to really, who is a foreigner, you would want to go and get a job with this outstanding organization, it would not be an easy way. It would be a challenge because they also consider their citizen as a priority to get that job. It is what has been signed as memorandum of understanding between companies, organizations, and the country. So you cannot go against it. And then the next thing, you should be having a birth certificate that would really identify you as a legitimate citizen of the country. Then you can stand a ground of getting those lucrative job. But more than that, no, you don't really qualify. However much you've come from which university of the world, they don't acknowledge it because they look at their citizens to first benefit. So what about the cost of living in South Sudan? Yes, South Sudan, especially Juba, it's quite expensive because on a daily expenses, you can be in position of spending from $20 to $30. That is the daily expenses that you really need to spend in a day. About accommodations, for you to get a better, maybe an average accommodation, you really need to get a house of which it may cost you from 100 to 200 USD a month. So that is not all that small money. So for you who thinks and who dreams to go to South Sudan, I would really need to let you know that you have first to prepare and strategize what you're going to do and look for way out, way in before you go. If this has been of help, please help me, click a like or subscribe. My name is Hembonye Junior Kizav.